We now welcome to the set Thomas Bott, the Kingston Town Planner. Welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you for being here.
Thanks for having me.
Okay, we're going to cover a number of things today, but first, tell me about the job of town planner. What do you do?
Well, typically a town planner is involved with the planning board. In many places, almost exclusively. Works for the planning board on subdivisions, on site plan reviews, on special permits. These are what typical town planner functions are. In larger shops, there are two branches. There's the current planners that do those things I just talked about, and the long-range planners who work on the master plan, which is what we're going to talk about today, I hope.
Okay.
So in addition to that, I've been involved in other things as well, our Green Communities Act, our energy reduction programs. I work with the Board of Health and things like that on wind turbine mitigation, solar panels we're working on the landfill, doing some more additional sustainable energy production. So work with the Historic Commission on local historic districts, worked with the Adams Committee on revising the Adams Library building. Over the years, I've worked on a lot of things that are directly in my job description and things that are just sort of projects.
Right, but you tend to cross-pollinate with other departments within the town quite often as a town planner, correct?
Yeah, well, it's a small town, so
right.
everybody has
right.
things that they do. And, you know, one of the things that I do, at least for the planning board in regards to developments, is communicate those things from other departments and things like that back to the board for their decision-making purposes.
Okay. And you've been in your position since 1998?
Since 1998, yes.
Long time.
Yeah, I moved up from Atlanta to sort of make for a simpler life for our family.
A simpler life here in Massachusetts.
Well, small children at the time.
Okay.
They're much larger now.
Yes, I would hope so. They've grown.
But yeah, it was a matter of relocating to New England. My wife is from New England, so we were very eager to move up here.
And Kingston's a beautiful town.
Kingston's a beautiful town. I live in Plymouth. Okay. Just down the street.
Okay, yep, they're a beautiful town too. So why don't you talk to me about a master plan, the definition of it, how it happens, what goes on with it, the whole shebang.
Okay. Well, a master plan is a policy guideline.
Okay.
It doesn't have any rule of law. It basically is a snapshot of where are we at, you know, where are we going, and what do we want to do, and what can we do to sort of amend that path that we're sort of on. We look at trends and conditions and things like that. And there are various elements to the master plan. In addition to setting goals and visions, there's land use, there's housing, there's transportation, there's cultural and natural resources, there's open space and recreation. I have to check my notes to make sure I get them all, but there's essentially about 8 elements to the master plan. Okay. In addition, in this particular round, we're also doing a sustainability element as well to look at what are we doing and what can we do to make ourselves, you know, more sustainable in the practices we do.
Is a master plan a finite amount of time? Is it for a year or 2 years or 3 years, or does it depend?
Well, the plan is actually a process, and it doesn't really end.
Okay.
We did a master plan in 1970.
Okay, a long time ago.
We did one in 1998.
Yep, when you came.
And now we're doing one in 2015.
So none's been done since 98?
Correct. Okay. Now, when I was in Atlanta, before I moved up here, I was the long-range planner for the city of Marietta. And there you do a master plan about every 5 years. So when Master Plan Committee in 1998, working under the excellent leadership of Paul Basler and Ralph Cowdery, 2 guys who sort of drove the process, they spent about 3 years on the master plan. And so when I got here, it was just at the end of the process, I was just doing some editing and doing some of those things, and explained to the committee that, well, you know, you typically update a master plan every 5 years.
Right.
And with that, half the committee volunteered to resign. We cannot go back there. I said, well, here's Plan B. Okay. Because you got to have Plan B.
Right.
Plan B was, well, we'll do it every 10 years.
Okay.
And so in 2008, we were just on the cusp of the 2010 census.
Right.
And since that census information is used for a lot of the projections and information, we said, well, wait till 2010. Okay. And do a master plan. And then since then, we've been asking for money to get that funding. Okay. First time around in 1998, they had some funding and they had to go back and get some more. So we tried to lay out a process with some estimates to get the project fully funded, to try to get it done in a year.
How much does the master plan cost?
We budgeted $119,000 at town meeting.
Is it for research?
Essentially, we have a team of consultants that we brought on.
All right.
Because it's very hard for one person
Oh,
to
I
do
would
that.
think so, right.
As I said, in some shops, there's a long-range planners and short-range planners. In Marietta, I was the long-range planner. I had a staff of 3 and interns and a budget to go out and get consultants as necessary. Kingston's a one-planner town. Okay. And there's a lot of things going on.
So you got the funding.
Got the funding.
In 2010.
Yep, we did an RFP,
Which is
and
a
request for proposals.
Okay.
Thank you for cutting through some of those letters.
Yes,
I won't use
RFP.
very few letters,
Okay.
hopefully.
Yeah.
But you'll straighten me out, I'm sure. A request for proposals to ask people to look at the plan. So we
Okay.
had 3 very good folks who looked at it.
Okay.
Who replied, and we selected Brovitz Community Planning and Design.
Okay.
And their team has 4 other folks with them, Niche Engineering, Flinker and Dotson, and the principal group, and I'll talk about what they do.
Okay.
But they're the team that we hired to help with this process.
Okay, so you have the funding and now you have the team.
Correct.
So now what?
So the master plan, it usually it sets up a committee. So
Okay.
the planning board, who's in charge of doing the master plan, created a master plan committee, as we did in 1998. And they're composed of folks from the Board of Selectmen, Conservation Commission, Board of Health,
All town-
citizens at large,
people, okay.
business representative, environmental representative,
Okay.
open space and recreation.
Cross-section of
Yeah.
lots of different people. Okay.
And they're sort of the steering committee, and they're going to review a lot of these documents and help work through the process. But the master plan relies on the participation of the public,
Right.
which is one of the things I hope to talk about with your millions of viewers, and have them come to the various public meetings and forums we've got set up for the next year.
So that's what's really important, is getting the word out that, okay, now everything's in place. We need people to come listen to it and to weigh in on it.
To weigh in on it,
Okay.
because what we do is we look at, it's a snapshot of here's where we're at statistically,
Right.
with statistics and business development, and where do we want to get to, and have people bring their ideas to
Okay.
the table as well.
All right. So have you had any of these meetings yet?
We had a master plan kickoff meeting where our consultants met with the master plan committee. And at that point, the master plan committee introduced themselves, talk about the process. This is on May 11th. I think you can actually go back and look at old meetings if you go to your PACTV
Yep, I'm sure.
website.
Yep, we'll put it up.
And look at those sort of things. So that one of the questions that our consultants ask is, well, tell us, master plan committee members,
Yeah.
3 things you think are terrific about Kingston and 3 things that are a challenge.
Right.
Just to sort of kick things off and get some perspective from them.
Yep.
And we talked about the process with them.
So what are the, if you could pick the 3 major components that you know are going to be part of this master plan, what are they?
Well, there's 8 components to the master
Okay.
plan. As we talked about, land use and housing and transportation. Those things that tend to get a lot of attention are transportation.
Right.
Because the people who drive in Kingston on Saturdays, and they're on occasion who are trying to get to the dump and get to places,
Yep.
there's a lot of traffic in Kingston. Essentially because all these roads intersect at Gene Creedon's house. Gene Creedon, a fabulous guy, an early proponent of planners and the master plan. He's 92. Gene, hope you're watching. So that all converges in Gene's front yard.
Okay.
27, 106,
Yes,
53.
right.
So even with the new Route 44, it's taken some of that traffic off, but it's still a major issue.
Okay, so traffic is one thing.
Traffic is one. I think affordable housing is one.
Okay.
It's always been an issue.
Yep.
In 1969, the Commonwealth created a law because of Chapter 40, because of a crisis in affordable housing that hasn't gone away.
Right.
Under changes we made in zoning since 1998 with an inclusionary housing bylaw, we've added about 18 affordable units.
Great.
18
okay.
is great.
But you need more. You need a lot more. Okay.
So land use,
Yep.
affordable housing, transportation,
Yep.
economic development. We look at the mall.
Right.
And people worry about the mall.
Right.
Now the mall has made some strides here recently.
Right, the Kingston Collection now.
Kingston Collection, looking good with the theaters,
Yep.
the remodels of some of the shops in there, the coming of Latitude 360, because you've got to sort of have a destination for a mall.
Right.
You can buy socks anywhere.
Right.
But economic development is a big part
Yep.
of sustainability, creating a tax base so people can benefit from those businesses and also from the taxes that they generate.
Right. Okay. So the next step is to publish your whole list of meetings and times and when people can go and where they can find information and where they can weigh in?
Yeah, well, we're a long way from publishing anything, but
Okay.
the meetings are all the meetings are public meetings. So we
Okay.
had one on May 11th. That was our kickoff meeting. Our next meeting and I have to check my notes here, is going to be on June 11th, where we're going to talk about trends and conditions. Some people call it a SWOT, strength,
Yes.
weakness,
Which is
opportunity,
opportunities and threats, yep.
But some of those threats and people go, we're not threatened.
Right, right.
So we give it a sort of a softer sort of name,
Right.
trends and conditions. So we'll be meeting with the master plan committee in advance of our first public forum
Okay.
that we'll have at the end of June. on June 29th. And this is going to be inviting the public in to
Where do you have these meetings, by the way?
well, a lot of them are in the town hall. But if you're bringing the public in and you want to talk about things, you really don't want to have it in a government office building all the time. So our next best facility in Kingston is the Reed Community Center. And the Reed is terrific because it's got the space for folks and things like that. Sure. So we'll have maps, we'll have drawings, we'll have...
I was just going to ask that. So you have a lot of audio-visual things for people to look at.
This will put us in a situation where we're in a setup for a big 3-day workshop that we're going to have in the fall, including a Saturday where there'll be drawing, there'll be sketches, there'll be maps, so people can bring those ideas in.
Now, do the people of Kingston end up voting on this, or is this up to the committee?
Under the law, the planning board approves a master plan.
Okay. But everyone's been able to be involved all during this entire process.
Correct. It's not present and defend. It's collect this information and put something
and here's
together.
the best.
And what we did in 1998 is after the master plan was done and the planning board voted on it, we brought it to town meeting for sort of a ratification vote.
Sure.
We did brief presentations at town meeting. Now, of course, that's up to the moderator whether she's going to permit that or not. But we presented the plan and talked about it. But the plan is a process. It's not a place and time. It's a policy guideline. So we move forward with those ideas that we brought up to see where are we at with those.
And sometimes you need to adjust.
Absolutely.
Because of environmental factors or anything, right? I mean, anything can come along and blow something up and you go in a different direction. So you have to be flexible.
Yeah, literally, figuratively or literally, I forget which one of those. But we don't want anything to blow up. But things change, conditions change, and you go back and look at those.
Okay.
So at the end, we make an implementation schedule that says these are all the things that came out of the master plan. These are the things we hope to see done. These are the parties that were responsible for getting those things done. And we'll go through that implementation schedule over the next 10 years. Because if you have a 5-year plan, everybody quits.
Oh, right. So you got to keep it going.
Correct.
Okay, great. Okay, so lots to look forward to with the master plan in Kingston.
I think so.
Okay, thank you.
Great.
Thanks for being here.
Thanks for having me.
Thanks for watching PCN In Depth. Replay times are listed at PACTV.org, or you can find us on YouTube. We hope the show has given you a better understanding of your town, and we look forward to bringing you more. Good night.